Welcome to design of machine element 2 module 4. We are continuing with the design of brakes. Next problem is a differential band brake is shown in figure. The width and thickness of steel band are 100 millimeter and 3 millimeter respectively, and the maximum tensile stress in the band is 50 megapascal. The coefficient of friction between the friction lining and brake drum is 0.25. Calculate tension in the band, the actuating force. Third one, torque capacity of the brake. Fourth one, find out whether the brake is self-locking. So this problem is with respect to again band brake in that differential. So whatever the construction of the brake, so that will be different. So differential band brake, you can refer figure F in your data and book, that is from page number 270. So in that two equations are there, one for clockwise rotation, that is from 13.19e, and for counterclockwise rotation you have to refer 13.19f. But most of the problem they will ask in the examination, so whatever the construction of the diagram, so that will be reverse of your data and book diagram. So for that purpose you have to check properly. So for some of the cases, for clockwise rotation of the brake, so you have to use counterclockwise rotation equation, because you have to see the nature of the force, direction of the force you have to check in the diagram. So if it is downward direction, but in your data and book it will be in opposite direction, so that for that purpose we have to change the equation. So that we'll discuss later. So before that we'll see what are the parameters given in this problem. Thickness, width and thickness of the steel band are given, that is material of band is steel, and whatever the width is 100 millimeter and the thickness is 3 millimeter. The maximum tensile stress in the band is 50 megapascal, and the coefficient of friction between the friction lining and brake drum is 0.25, and angle is given, whatever the wrap angle, so that is 240 degree. So you know what is the ratio of tensions, that is F1 divided by F2 is equal to e to the power mu theta. So whatever the design is almost similar to belt drive, so without considering velocity here. So for that reason you need to find out tension in the band F1 and F2 you have to find out. So F1 stands for tight side tension, so also we call it as maximum tension or high tension at the high side, or force on the high tension side, and F2 is nothing but force on low tension side. So that we have to find out. In the last problem they have given with respect to uh, power, because power is given, so with the help of power it is able to calculate torque. So therefore you can equate two expression. One is from torque equation, that is F1 minus F2 into R, and another equation is F1 divided by F2 is equal to e to the power mu theta. So with the help of that two equation you can able to find out tensions. Here we have to find out with using some other equation, so that also we'll discuss. So actuating force you have to find out, that is the value of F you have to find out. Then torque capacity of the brake you have to find out. Then you need to find out whether brake is self-locking or not. If the value is equal to 0 or negative, so then the whatever the brake we call it as self-locking brake. So we'll see one by one how to solve all this. So given B, that is B is nothing but width of the band, that is 100 millimeter, and thickness of the band is H, denoted by H, that is equal to 3 millimeter, and sigma D is the stress, design stress of band, so that is given, that is 50 megapascal, and coefficient of friction between the friction lining and brake drum is given, that is 0.25, and the theta is very essential here, that is 240 angle is given, so that we have to convert into radian later. Now first question. Now first question, you need to find out tension in the band. For that purpose we have to use equation number 13.18. So that is from page number 269. So that equation you have to use, that is nothing but design stress of the band is equal to maximum tension or maximum force divided by area. You know, stress equal to force by area. So area is nothing but area of the band is equal to B into H. So B is nothing but the width of the band and H is nothing but thickness of the band. So with the help of this expression 13.18 you will get value of F1, that is 100 equal to B1 value is given, B value is given 100 is equal to F1 value you have to find out, H value is 3, and sigma D is nothing but design stress of band, so that is 50 given in the problem. So after finding F1 value becomes 15,000 Newton. So once you get F1, it is easy to calculate F2, you know, relation between the tensions, that is ratio of tension F1 by F2 is equal to e to the power mu theta. So that is equation from 13.18a, where F1 is nothing but force on high tension side and F2 is nothing but force on low tension side. So F1 and F2 are the tensions. So F1 value we know, 15,000 divided by F2 is equal to e to the power mu value is 0.25, theta is 240, you have to convert into radians, so therefore 240 into pi by 180, so you will get 2.85. So F2 becomes 5263.8. So that indicates whatever the force on low tension side, always value will be lesser than tight side. So tight side we got 15,000 Newton and slack side 5,263.8 Newton. So this is the this about first question. Now we'll move towards second question, actuating force. So in the problem they are given a direction of rotation, so that is clockwise rotation, but it's very important note, because whatever the diagram in your data handbook and given problem, the direction of the force that will be different. So in the diagram the direction is giving whatever the direction of force given is from in the downward direction, but in your data handbook the direction of force in the upward direction. For that purpose what you have to do, for clockwise rotation you have to use anti-clockwise equation. So this is counter-clockwise equation in your data handbook, that is 13.19f. So this is one of the important note you have to say. If some of the problem may be same as your data handbook formulas, so then no need of reversing. Here you have to do reversing, because whatever the direction of force given in the problem and direction of force given in the data handbook, so that will be opposite. So that's why you can change the equation. So F equal to B2 into F2 minus B1 into F1 divided by A. So B2 value is 200 according to data handbook. So B1 value is 50 according to data handbook, and A is 950 millimeter. Now we have to substitute. The B2 value is 200, F2 value is 5263.8 minus 50 into 15,000 divided by 950. So after substitution the value will be 318.694. So this is for clockwise rotation, but you are used anti-clockwise rotation equation because of changing the direction of force. So now the value of actuating force or force applied on the end of the lever is 318.694. So that is the answer for second question. Now coming to the third question. Now you have to find out torque capacity of the brake. How to find out torque capacity of the brake? So you have one formula, torque equal to force into radius. So force is nothing but F1 minus F2. That is the difference between the slack side, tight side tension and slack side tension. So F1 is nothing but force on high side, high side, and F2 is nothing but force on low side. So that is F1 and F2 value already we calculated. R is nothing but the whatever the radius of the wheel is 300 millimeter, because diameter is given 600. So the 15,000 minus 5263.8 into 300 is equal to 2.92 into 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeters. This is nothing but torque capacity of the brake. So next question, we need to find out whether the brake is self-locking or not. So for clockwise rotation, so you have to use anti-clockwise equation or counter-clockwise equation from your date and width, hence the direction of force applied is different. So for that reason, you have to use this equation, that is 13.19e. For self-locking, the condition is B2 divided by B1 should be lesser than F1 divided by F2. So F1 divided by F2 is nothing but the ratio of belt tension. So you already calculated F1 by F2 is nothing but e to the power mu theta. So that value should be greater than whatever the ratio, that is B2 divided by B1. So that you have to check now. So B2 into F2 should be lesser than B1 into F1. So 200 into 5263.8 should be lesser than 50 into 15,000. So this value comes greater than this value, that is LHS value should be more than here LHS value become more than RHS value. So therefore there is no self-locking in clockwise rotation of brake drum. So otherwise there will be a self-locking. So self-locking is nothing but when the force is, it should be 0 or it should be negative. So then such condition we called it as self-locking. We already discussed in the theory. So that is about self-locking. Now coming to the next problem, that is a 400 millimeter radius brake drum contacts a single shoe as shown in figure and sustain 200 Newton meter torque at 500 rpm. For a coefficient of friction 0.25, determine first one normal force on the shoe, second one required force F to apply the brake for clockwise rotation, third dimension of C required to make the brake self-locking assuming other dimension remain same, fourth one heat generated. So this is problems on block brake, or we call it as single block or single shoe brake. So diagram is given in the problem itself. So these are the construction of single shoe brake. So these are the dimensions given, 40 with respect to vertical and 350 from this fulcrum, that is 350, and from here to here total length, that is 1000, and radius is given 400. So based on these parameters we have to find out all four questions, that is normal force, second one value of F, and the third one is value of C in order to make the brake self-locking, and the fourth one heat generated. Now we'll see one by one. These are the given parameters. Torque is given, that is 200 Newton meter, so we have to convert into Newton millimeter, and RPM is given 500 RPM. Then radius is given 400 millimeter. Coefficient of friction is given 0.25. Here you have to assume 2 theta lesser than 60 degree. Whatever the theta is nothing but one of the angle of contact surface of block, so that should be in degree. So that is you have to assume for this problem. C value, that is 40 millimeter. So you have to compare this diagram with your date and book diagram. And B value, that is 350, and A value, so you have to check your data and book properly. So A value will be 1000 minus 350, so that is 650 millimeter. So now you have to find out normal force on the shoe. So that can be calculated with the help of equation number 13.16 F. So that is from page number 265. So Fn equal to 2T divided by mu into D. So Fn value you can calculate 2 into torque is given 200 Newton meter, so you have to convert into 200 into 10 to the power 3 Newton millimeter divided by 0.25 into D value is 800 millimeter. So the whatever the normal force on the shoe, you will get 2000 Newton. So that you can see in figure 13.17 in page number 265. Next question, required force F to apply the brake for clockwise rotation. So the data and book diagram and whatever the given diagram, so that you have to cross check. So if any changes is there, like in terms of direction of the force, that is plays very important role. In such case you have to interchange the equation. For clockwise you have to use counterclockwise equation. So now it's proper, whatever the data and book diagram and given problem diagram, that will remain same. So for that reason you have to use for clockwise rotation equation number 13.17b. you have to refer figure B, that is from page number 267. So Ft value, Ft is nothing but always mu into Fn. So Ft value you can calculate 0.25 into 2000, so you will get 500. That is nothing but tangential force. Now required force for clockwise rotation you can calculate with the help of this equation 13.17b. Ft into B divided by A plus B. So A value is 650, B value is 350 into 1 divided by mu is 0.25 minus C by B 40 divided by 350. So answer will get 680 Newton. So that is 680 Newton is nothing but required force F to apply the brake for clockwise rotation. So the value may be different for anti-clockwise direction. So in such case you have to use next equation in your data and book 13.17c. Now third question, the dimension of C required to make the brake self-locking, assuming other dimension remain same. For self-locking you have to use again same equation 13.17b. You know, for self-locking the F value will be always 0 without changing any other, all the value remains same. You need to find out value of C. So Ft into B, A plus B, so you have to bring this side, so then it will be 0. So 1 minus mu should be lesser than C by B. Therefore 1 by 0.25 should be lesser than C divided by 350. So C value you will get 1400 millimeter. So that value indicates if you use C value 1400, so then the brake will be self-locking. Now coming to the fourth question, heat generated. So for heat generated in your data book, you have one expression, that is 13.24. What is the amount of heat generated? So that you need to find out. This equation you will get from page number 275. So that is expression number 13.24. A, equation number H equal to capital letter H, that is energy absorbed or heat to be radiated by a brake per second, mu into P. P is nothing but specific pressure into AF into V. So that is the equation, and H equal to Ft into V. So Ft is nothing but tangential force, V is nothing but velocity. So pi dn divided by 60,000, velocity you have to find out. Pi into d, d is nothing but 800 diameter of the drum into 500, n is speed, it is given, divided by 60,000. So velocity you will get 20.94. So once you get velocity, you have to multiply with the tangential force, that is H equal to 500 into 20.94. So you will get 10.47 kilowatt. So that is heat generated. So heat energy absorbed, it should be you can calculate with help of this equation also, that is 13.24 A. For that reason, so we need some other data, that is specific pressure. So that you will get from table 13.11 A, and AF also one of the important thing, that is contact area of the friction surface. So this is an easy method to find out heat generated. So this is about problems with respect to brakes. So these are the important problems. There are so many problems in your notes. So that finishes your module 4. For any doubt, you can contact with respect to any topic.